Welcome to Expeditions, a Mudrunner game. In this video, we're going to be having a look at the nuances of the garage menus with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Expeditions, a Mudrunner game. This is an an information sharing video, I guess. I've been putting up some videos. I've been doing my recording pre-embargo lift. The embargo lifts on the 29th, so you'll probably see this video on the 29th or whenever you're watching it, and the game releases on the 5th of March. I've been doing some gameplay videos, some first look at different map videos as I've kind of unlocked them and gone through. But it's something dawned on me, what I probably could do is do a garage video, because the garage menu is very similar to SnowRunner. So if you've played SnowRunner, there'll be a lot of familiarity to it. There are some changes, there are some slightly different nuances to it. When you first start playing, as I personally found, and if I found it, I'm sure other people will, it can all be a bit overwhelming. There can be a lot of information, and you miss things. It's very easy to miss things. And I found, especially because I was recording, so I'm trying to remember what I was going to do, think about what I'm going to say, do my recording, and it's easy to miss something. It's easy to get flustered, you know, that kind of thing. So as I've been going through the missions and the jobs, and various different jobs and missions require different things, then other things become apparent and you kind of get a little bit better with what's going on. So I thought I'd show you the garage menu. But what I'm also going to do, a little, possibly a top tip, at the start of this video for you, and that is this: when you come onto the game for the very first time and you click on new game and you start to play, I can't remember whether it gave me the option to do the tutorial or not, because there's a tutorial section you need to do. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to click on new game. Now, as you can see, I've already been playing. I'm only 6% through, and I've put a few hours on this already. And I can't remember if it said, I ask you if you wanted the tutorial or not. So if I go to an empty slot, click on this, it says, would you like to go through the tutorial again? If I say no, skip tutorial, what it will do when it loads up, it will automatically unlock a few of the bits. So my advice would be, if you're coming in for the first time, do the tutorial. So a lot of people were aware we'd have Arizona, we'd have Carpathians. These are both areas. Each one of those has 4 maps on. If I click on that, for example, you'll see we've got Grand Canyon, we've got Sonoran Desert, Wahit Bay, and Coconino. If I come off of there and go to Carpathians, we've got Slip Rock Swamps, Unshakable Island, Mountain Labyrinths, and Dormant Volcano. Now, if you come onto here on your first time of playing, if it doesn't give you the option to skip, Little Colorado is your training map. And if I click on Little Colorado, these are all locked normally, and you have to do your first expedition, and then it unlocks different ones, and you go through your first 5 training missions, and that gets you sort of au fait with a few different aspects of the game and things like that, which is fine. If, however, you skip it like I've just done now, it automatically unlocks those. The first expedition is done. If I come on to Arizona, has it got one of these in green? It hasn't. I wasn't sure if it would have. But when you've done those expeditions, as you can see on Arizona, everything is locked, and it's still locked at the moment. If I go on to Carpathians, the first one there, Prologue, is unlocked already. If you don't skip the tutorial, if you do the tutorial, that is all locked. So you can't access any of those until you've done the tutorials. So if it gives you the option to skip, and you really don't want to do the tutorials, you just want to jump straight into the maps, then skip it, and it will unlock that for you and some of the other ones. If it doesn't give you the option, then you might have to just go through the tutorials anyway. But just to say that if that happens, that's the situation, and you can if you want to. Now, if I come back out of there, bottom right, you will see it's got a garage menu, which is fantastic. Now, the garage menu, like the SnowRunner one, is where you go in, customize, buy vehicles, all that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. But what you've also got now, a little bit like SnowRunner, if I click on this and we go to the first mission, sorry, which was that one there, Prologue, and click on it, here it gives you what you need for the mission. There are requirements, because we've got team members. I'm not going to team members, this is just about the garage. So you need to pick at least one truck, and it will tell you on the left hand side there what type of truck. And this one, it says Scout. It might be Scout, it might be heavy, it might ask for the off-road vehicle, and it will tell you. Some of them it says take at least one. Sometimes it requires more than one vehicle. It says you need to take more than one vehicle. So if I click on that, it will then take me to my garage menu, where you choose your vehicle for the mission and then do any customization you want. Now, what will also happen is under requirements, like that one there, for example, says under requirements, logistician, jack screw, and anchor. Those things you need to take with you. So your vehicles already have an inventory slot for putting those things in. So I'm going to come out of there. And just to say that when you pick your missions, you do also get another option to pick your vehicle and do some customization. So if you've already done it, and I'm going to go down to the garage menu at the bottom right here and press square, there's our garage. Brilliant. So don't panic. If you've done all your customization in this menu, then you go to pick a mission. Don't worry and think, oh, hang on a minute, I've got all the wrong stuff. It will give you the option to change it all again there. So this is our garage menu. And like I said, some of it is familiar. The garage has changed somewhat. There's a little bit more detail in the background of the vehicles and that kind of stuff. On our left-hand column, at the very, very top, we've got our L1, R1, and we can scroll through our various different vehicle types. So that's all. If we go R1, it gives us our scouts, then we've got our heavies, and then we get our off-roads. The other thing to say as well, at the start, there's not a huge selection of vehicles. The mods hub is there already. There are a few mods in it, only one vehicle mod, and it's a very peculiar one. But at the time of release and possibly straight after, we'll start seeing more and more mods come into there. So that's the vehicles that we own already in that left-hand column. Now you will see that I've got some standards. I've got an Action 310, Don 71. The Cotco Canyon is if you've gone for one of the extra packs. If you get the bonus packs, you get the Cotco Canyon. And then you've got SEs. Now, the SE versions are if you've gone for the Pioneer pack. So if you've gone for the option to buy the game with the Pioneer pack gives you SE versions of the standard game versions. So these ones here, it will give you SE versions of those, basically. Now, if you don't want duplicates, you can sell them. Press triangle, you can sell it. So if you don't want duplicates of all these vehicles, you can sell some to give yourself a bit of extra money. So that's my first tip, is if you want some extra money to do your changes and things like that, that's a good way of doing it. So that's our left-hand column, that's our vehicles, and that's our categories. Up at the very top of the screen, we've got collection, that's what we've got, and then we've got truck store. So if I go R2, this is your buying menu. So this is the vehicles that are available and the ones that aren't available. So if you want to have duplicates or you want to have different configurations, you can scroll through and we can pick our vehicles as we go. At the bottom, on the right, it says show description, so you can do that or that, and then you've got preview, so you can preview the vehicle again with the sort of things you've got unlocked or the sort of things you can do to it. So that's all there for a preview. I'm not going through all those because we're going to look at those menus in a moment. The only downside to that is, as you've just seen, when you come out of that, it puts you right back to the start of the menu again. So I would imagine once you've got lots and lots of vehicles in your menus, you're going to be wanting to use your category menus more, because otherwise you're going to have to scroll through every single vehicle to get back to where you were. It's a minor thing, but it's just something to be aware of. Now, when we get to here, we're onto our vehicles that aren't unlocked yet. So there are a few, and it says that on those pictures what you need to do, what missions you need to do to unlock them. Now, unlike SnowRunner, you can't, or I'm 6% in, I've done a few missions, done a few bits, I've unlocked a few things here and there. It's a bit linear at the moment in that you can't just bounce around and pick which missions you do. As you do a mission, it will unlock another one. I've just done a mission that's unlocked 2, so it may get to a point where it unlocked multiple, and then you can scan through and pick the ones you want. But for the first few missions, at least, it's a little bit linear. So it's going to take a while before you can start unlocking these vehicles. Off the start, you don't start with a heavy. We have some off-road, we do have some scouts, but we don't have a heavy yet. So we've got that one there. We've got the Ankh. We've got the Collie Pug, that's a new one. We've got the Khan Marshal. A little bit different to the Scout, the SnowRunner one, but we've got the Khan Marshal, we've got the Khan Loaf, again, slightly little bit of a tweak on that. We've got the Bandit, Tatra 805, Tatra Force, Warthog, and Yar 87. So that's the sum total. But like I said, there are going to be DLCs, there are going to be more mods coming out, there are going to be things being brought out fairly regularly, and as with SnowRunner, you'll find that this will expand pretty quickly. And the vehicles you've got, they're great for what you need to do, and you're going to be so immersed in the game anyway. I know a lot of people say, oh, that's not enough, there's not enough stuff to be getting on with. Trust me, you're going to enjoy the game as is with what you've got. So that's our collections and truck store menu. And obviously, as that expands and DLCs come out, there'll be more and more and more and more and more to choose from. And I would imagine when you get new DLCs come out, as is always the case, you get a new map, you'll get new vehicles, that kind of thing. It will expand. So back to this menu then. So that's our left-hand column. That's the top of the menus. Now we look in a little bit. So we've got the details of our vehicle, our TUS 16 Action SE, off-road, upgrades 31 and 54. So that's what's available, I think, at the moment. And then as you go through and you unlock more upgrades, that number will go up until you hopefully hit the magic 54 out of 54, and everything's available. Power, strength, and fuel consumption on each vehicle, it will tell you. And then you can do certain conversions that will either make that better or can make it worse. Then the next thing below that, we've got inventory and cargo. And this is important for your mission selection, because certain missions, it will require you to take cargo. And if you don't have a cargo bed, then you can't take cargo. So you need to have inventory or cargo, or the scouts generally, if I go down to a scout now, that one there, just has inventory, and that has 3 blocks. The Cotco Canyon is inventory in 4 blocks, the Don 3, and then if we get to the Step 310E, that's got a whole load and cargo capacity. So those menus are more mission specific, but we'll have a look at a couple of different options on those. So we'll go back to our action. It says about devices as well. So certain missions, again, parameters will require devices, things like metal detectors and that kind of thing. If I go to, there you go, the Don 71E under devices, that's the metal detector. That can be put on the roof. So it will tell you what devices that vehicle can carry. So there'll be various different things. That's the seismic one, I think, under devices. So that's the devices part of the menu. Then you've got resources. So you've got one slot is saying at the moment, that's for a bit for spare parts. And it will say how many slots. If I go down to our Cotco, the Cotco is saying 1 slot as well, because that's just the basic vehicle that we've got at the moment. Now, something in the menu that I missed early on, another reason why I'm doing this video is because I missed something. I was talking about it in one of my videos, and I'm sure I'll get comments left, but like I said, at the moment, all these videos are being recorded prior to the embargo lifting, so none of the videos are live. I've had no feedback and no views, so I'm assuming I will get comments about it. I missed something on the menu, and I'm going to show you that now. So I thought that was important to do. I say now in this video. And then just below that, you've got your fuel size, fuel tank size, diff lock, whether it's got a diff lock, all-wheel drive or not. Recovery cost is an important one. If you haven't watched any of my other videos yet on this, unlike SnowRunner, where you can recover your vehicles, whenever you want, there is a recovery cost. I have found so far, I've managed to get 1 free recovery, and then it will charge you if you want to recover to various, because you unlock different sort of base areas. If you want to move your vehicles around between base areas, if you're on the map already, you can incur a recovery cost. That's something to factor in. That's quite important. Then you've got hide description. So we can do that or that, depending on how much information you want to be shown on your screen. If it's a bit overwhelming, then bottom right, the price of the vehicle, customize, sell, move up and down the menus. The codex, if you click on R3, that gives you a load of information, and basically a help menu. So anything you might be stuck on, you can go into the codex, you can have a look. So the vehicles themselves. If we go to customize, this opens up the next set of menus. So I'm going to start with the action and just show you that. So very familiar to SnowRunner. We've got our upgrades first. So we've got our engine, the various different ones, and as you unlock them, we get our options to unlock. We've got a gearbox. Now, I think on SnowRunner, you had to press circle to come back out, then go down to the next one. On this one, we can open it. I can scroll down and go straight on to the next one, which automatically closes that back up again. But if you open it, pick what you want, then press circle, you can close it, or just scroll down. It's whichever one you want to do. We've got our suspension options on there as well. Tyres, again, very SnowRunner familiar. And I keep saying that, but if you've never played SnowRunner, this is your first foray into playing this style of game. This will all be brand new to you. So I suppose what I should be doing is, you can pick what you want for your engines, and it will tell you in the information there. So the first engine there that's unlocked that we've got already, a common engine popular among the many East European truck manufacturers around the middle of the last century. Tells you your power, strength, and fuel consumption. If I click on the next one, it will give you more information. So a revised engine variant with improved overall performance and reliability, but lower fuel efficiency. So whilst the power and strength goes up, your fuel consumption gets worse. but again, that needs to be unlocked. You'll find it as you go through different missions, that kind of thing. And then the next one up, gearbox. You got your stock gearbox, and you've got various different ones you can pick. Again, I'm not going to read through all of them, but just to say they're all in here. You can read the information about it, and then you can pick the gearbox you think will fit your style or what you want. Then we've got our suspension kits. So you've got the standard kit, which gives you standard suspension, lift kit, which lifts it up, which will also usually give you the option for larger tyre sizes if you want to go for those. I find the rock crawler kit gives you a lot more, it's a lot more forgiving over stony, rocky terrain. It is lifted as well, but it just is a little bit more flexibility to it. Our tyre options, like I say, when you go through these, again, if you've never played this before, our tyre options, you've got your different sizes, but it will tell you in that menu, if I scroll down from that one to the next one, you notice those things where it says tyre traction changes. So it will tell you on rock, average, off-road, average, mud, average. Next one down, average, good, and average. Then you've got good, good, average, good, good, good. On some of them, there you go. For example, the off-road, you've got off-road, excellent. If you can find a tyre that says excellent, 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 you've cracked it. But I don't think we've got any of those when we start out. That's a good one, but it's locked at the moment. Excellent, excellent, and good. And again, you may want to pick them mission specific. That's in type of shoe. Then we go to our winch. So winching, again, you may not be au fait with the game or have played it before, but you've got a stock winch which has got a certain length and can do certain things. Extended winch, as you might imagine, gives you a longer winch length so you can reach various different things. Advanced winch, normally higher power to it, rope length. Autonomous means if you've got an autonomous winch, if you roll the vehicle on its side, normally, or on its roof, the engine will cut off. If the engine cuts off on the previous ones, your winch won't work. An autonomous winch works on a separate battery system. So if you roll it onto its roof and you need to get yourself winched back up again, you can still do that. Your winch will still work no matter what. And then you've got a high power one as well. Diff lock, engageable. Sometimes you've got unlocked, engageable. Then you've got your snorkel. The snorkels are important for wading through deep water. So as soon as you can get to a high-mounted snorkel, gives you more fording ability. Now, the next menu is the important one. They're all important. Is exterior. So exterior changes a few things on our vehicle. So we've got our miscellaneous here. So we've got emergency reserves. Again, I'm not going to read through everything, but your fuel supply and your spare parts. So you've got a small, a medium, and a large, and you'll unlock those as you go. You start off with the small. You've then got external roll cage, if you want to add that on, bolt-on fenders. There's a whole list, and those lists will change depending on what you unlock. The rear, we've got a rear-mounted rack. Now, I'm going to, that's locked at the moment. But you see there, it says rear-mounted rack, slots ×5. So by putting that rear-mounted rack on, that gives you 5 extra cargo slots. If we come back onto there and do roof rack, we can buy. So if I buy that for 3,500, I've now got a roof rack on. That says slots ×4. So that's 4 extra cargo slots to put on there. Front bumper, again, we can go through, pick what bumpers you want. Reinforced, big reinforced. You've got your stock bumper. You've got sun visors and extended. That does work often if the sun's glaring. It can be helpful. I don't often use them, but that's a personal choice. So we come out of there, we've got our rim options, so we can choose various different rims, and again, these usually are all unlocked at the start. Then we come on to frame modules. So when I said you've got inventory and you've got cargo, your frame modules, the short flatbed's free and the short sideboard is free, and that will tell you, there you go, your cargo slots. So that one there, the short sideboard, has 4 cargo slots. So if the mission is asking you to carry a specific cargo, you need a vehicle with cargo slots, and you need the cargo slots installed. But don't worry if you haven't done it in this menu. When you pick your vehicle for a mission, you can configure it in that menu as well. That's why I was showing you that earlier on. You've got fuel tank and you've got workshop. But again, those aren't unlocked yet. Then we go on to our colours. So if you've got the Pioneer ones, this is an SE, so this is a Pioneer. You've got some extra Pioneer colour options. That's the standard. That's the Pioneer version. And then we can scroll through all the different ones that are available. Again, very SnowRunner-esque menu. What I like about this is the menu's more, it moves around a lot more freely than the SnowRunner one did. I find, and so you can have a look at what you're doing a little bit easier. So that's our colour, and then we move on to exterior stickers, which we've got at the moment. There's nothing in here at the moment for window stickers or anything like that, or internals. I've got nothing for bubble heads or dangling air fresheners or anything like that. Just exterior stickers, and off the start they are all locked. But there are a whole load. And from there, at the bottom, you can pick your previous or next slot for where you place your stickers, doors, roof, that kind of thing. If you have them installed, you can remove them as well if you decide you don't want them. But these will unlock as you work your way through. Now I'm going to come back to... So back to customize, back to upgrades. Now, this is the bit I missed. And this was, like I say, one of the primary reasons I wanted to do this video. Is that when I was driving around, I was saying, I don't understand. I've unlocked all these slots. I've got all this stuff. I've got side beds, sideboards, all this extra cool whiz-bangery. And it's not allowing me to, I've got nothing in it. It's not letting me do anything. And what I'd missed, right down the bottom, and it's only on this menu. If I go to upgrades, go to color, go to stickers, come out of that menu, it's not on any of this anywhere. And like I said, it was not hidden, but I just missed it. So I go back to my action and click back on that and go back to exterior. It was on that menu only. Bottom of the screen, it says fill slots, and I missed it. Click on fill slots. So with our roof rack, side bed, whatever we've got, there are window panels, panniers, we've got tyre holders, all sorts of stuff that can be put on. I can choose how I fill those 4 extra slots, my roof slots that I got. And again, as you unlock more and more, you can unlock more storage slots. So I might decide I'm going to put an extra 15 litres of fuel in that slot. That one, an extra 15 litres of fuel. That one, L1 or R1, I go to spare parts. I'm going to put some spare parts in that one and spare parts in that one. So I've now filled up those slots. When I go out onto the map, I've got extra fuel, I've got extra spare parts, some spare parts and stuff you need for doing other things, like crafting bridges. The fuel is very important because it's very scarce around the map. So that's on that one. But what I will do want to show you is if you have got the Code Canyon, depending on which version you've got, this one comes with a lot more stuff unlocked straight off the start because I think it's you can tune this right the way up. I'm not going to go through everything on the menu on this, but it is all unlocked for you to have a go at. The rock crawler kit, I just prefer the rock crawler kit. But what's pretty cool on this, if we go to our upgrades, miscellaneous, we have got under here, so there we've got side mounted rack, which puts it by the back window. So if I buy that, so that automatically puts us 2 miscellaneous slots on the bottom. So it adds 2 on. We come out of there and we go to roof. We've got roof rack. That adds on a load more slots as well. We've got spotlight mount. Now that's important. So at the front there, if I come off that, go back to spotlight mount and put that on. If you get that as an option, that's quite handy. And then I think that might be it. Have we got was it on the rear? Oh, spare wheel mount. So on the back, spare wheel mount. If I click on that. So now, if you look down there, it says resources 10 slots. We've got rear, roof, and miscellaneous on this one. So we've got a load of extra slots available. If I go to fill slots now, the rear, we can put, it says spare wheel times 2. So I can add a spare wheel on. Hang on, go back to fill slots. Our roof, I can then go through and put fuel and spare parts on the roof. But what I did find is when I got to the end one there, that end block gives me the option for a light kit. So you've got light kit A, which is a light bar. Light kit B is round lights that will fit on that light bar that we've already placed. So that bracket that we placed will give you the option to put an extra light set on. So if I put the light bar on there, press add, then I can go back to these, and again, I can put in my fuel and spare parts. So fuel, 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 and then I'm going to go spare parts, spare parts, and spare parts. So you can see my roof rack is now full of all the greatness. The miscellaneous, on the side one, I've got the option of, again, I think either one. So depending on what you want to take more of, one of each, more fuel, more spare parts on the side, and we come back out to here, and there's our vehicle. With all of our stuff on, the roof, the side, we've got a rear wheel, it's all on there. That's important. very important, because like I said, I missed that on my first few missions and I was complaining about it. And I came into the menu, I thought off camera, I'll do a bit of customization on my vehicles, ready for my next video, and saw that option. So that's vitally important, the fill slots option. As far as the garage menu goes, I mean, that is in essence, that's it. If we come out of here and let's say we go for, we'll go into Little Colorado just as an example. So nearby access, if I click on that as an option, that says requirements, just to sort of lead you through the full thing of using the garage menu. Metal detector 1. So it's saying truck, scout, but certain vehicles won't allow you to have a metal detector. So I need to pick at least one vehicle, and you'll notice now in our menu on the left hand side, it's got exclamation marks by the vehicles you can use that will allow you to put a metal detector on the roof. So if I pick one of these with these others, it won't let me. If I pick that now and then come out, it won't allow me to deploy. It won't allow me to deploy because I haven't met the requirements for that mission. So if I come back to that, that's no good. Let's remove that from the mission. So now I've done all the work to this to make that into a nice scout vehicle. Not all the work, obviously there's a load more to do, but as far as fuel and spare parts go. So I might not necessarily want to change that, or you might want to have multiple ones. You might have a couple. One that you can use for general work, one that you'll use for just scouting. If I go down to the Lodestar 1700 SE, we've got our inventory. So this is where the inventory becomes important, because some jobs will require certain things under your inventory menu, which is here, and some for your sideboards. So as far as inventory goes, I'm going to take a jack screw. That's if you roll over. If you haven't got a winch, that will help you up. I'm going to take a couple of those. I'm going to take the anchors. That's for winching. Now, again, unless you've seen the other videos yet, so you can pick those. I might not want to fill that up completely, because sometimes you find things out in the wilderness that you might want to put into your inventory. Just below that, it tells you how much fuel we've got. Because I've got no extra fuel on this one, I've got 140 litres with no spare. Spare parts 50 and 1 spare wheel. That's all I've got. So I come out of there, and then devices is the next thing I need to pick. So it will click on that. I need to go into my devices, and again, it's all quite clear. If I come out of that menu on upgrades, it's not under upgrades. The exclamation mark is above exterior. It's on roof. Click on that, and it will tell you what it is you need. So I click on that. That's our metal detector. That's what's required for the mission. You can still go through and you can change everything else. So like I said, even if you've done it already in that main garage menu, you can then change things and make them mission specific. For just that job, you can come back out, go back into the garage. Because you've already bought them, you've already unlocked them, you can just reassign them into the places you want to. Or like I said, you can have multiple vehicles if you want. So as that stands, I mean, I could do more and more to that, absolutely. Now, I don't have a load bed on this yet. There's no load bed because it hasn't been unlocked. But if I go to this... Oh, no, because I'm on the mission parameters, aren't I? Customised, there we go. Where is it? On rear. The pickup bed's not unlocked yet, but there is a rear-mounted rack for 2,000. So if I buy the rear-mounted rack, again, if I then go to fill slots, I can add some extra fuel in if I want to. So I can go for extra fuel, and that one is for spare wheel. So you won't be able to put all fuel. There will be specific certain things. So you know what? Take a spare wheel. Why not? So now my vehicle is ready for a lot more. As you can see, I've got 30 litres of fuel now. So I've got more fuel on board. Well, that's the spare. So 140 litres in total. Still got my spare parts at 50. I've got 2 tyres now. I'm good to go and moving forward on the mission. So now, when I come out of this menu, we come back to here and it gives me the option to deploy. So I've met the parameters and some. I've got a whole load of stuff that I can do. So I deploy my vehicle, start expedition, and it should put my vehicle out. So that in essence is the garage. And the great thing now is, if we scroll around, I mean, we're either just at the start of the day or it's just getting dark. But you can then see all the stuff on your vehicle with their extra fuel and everything on there. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of how to utilize all those. I've shown those in some of the videos. If you go through the tutorial, it will show you all the different menus and things, how to use them. This was more just about the garage menu, but I thought I'd go right the way through to deploy, because then it shows you how you can utilize the menu to get to the point you need to get onto a mission, which is a little bit different to the SnowRunner version. But anyway, I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.